We all have limited time, resources, and energy. We can't help everyone, so we need to be selective about who we invest in. The Gospels show that Jesus ministered to various sizes of groups of people. We have large crowds, smaller crowds, and then more intimate groups as well. While it's challenging to provide an exact count, Jesus is depicted as ministering to these large crowds and teaching them and healing the sick and demonstrating compassion towards them. However, he did not entrust himself to these crowds. We learned from John 2-24. And he focused primarily on these smaller groups of disciples. And so as we see the larger sizes grow, we actually see his time investment decrease. So this is time. So how did Jesus discern who to invest in so that he could disciple them? He used filters to assess those who merited his greatest investment. So I've written some examples of some verses here where we have John 6:52-67. We have Matthew 10:32-38, and Luke 14:26-27. And we have these examples where we have this term hard sayings. For example, in John 6, when Jesus tells his disciples that they have to eat his flesh and drink his blood if they want to be his disciples. And they reply by saying, "This must be figurative. This is a hard saying. How could you say this?" And he says, "No, this is you actually have to do this." And then secondly, in Matthew 13 and Mark 10, we have examples of Jesus using parables as a way of filtering those that would be more eager and search out the deeper meaning of the things that he was sharing. In Matthew 7 and Luke 6 and Mark 10, we have this other example of Lordship Statements. Where Jesus says that he is Lord. He is the one that deserves our allegiance, and he expects that and demands that from us. So it can be, we have a filtering process that we use like this in Discovery Bible Studies, where we use this filtering process, and when we have a looking back, looking up, and looking forward. And in this 3/3 process, we look back and we ask the question, how are you loving and obeying Jesus? And sometimes that's a hard saying. We're holding people to account to actually loving and obeying Jesus. And then we have this portion where we're learning from the Bible through discovery and participation. And sometimes people don't like that either. They just want to be given the answers. And then we have Lordship Statements, when we're looking forward and we're planning and we're committing to apply and share the things that God is teaching us from his word during that time. So it can be actually very incredibly hard and even seem heartless at times to discontinue discipleship relationships based upon this filtering process. However, if we don't, we end up compromising our vision, or trying to convince our disciples to do things that they don't want to do. Long-term investment in disciples who do not share your vision and as a result are resistant or reluctant in implementing multiplication strategies, this steals our joy, drains our energy, and eventually leads to burnout. This is neither loving to yourself or your unwilling disciples, or those that are eager or willing and able, to whom you could help if you were available. So, experience has proven to me that disciples may fluctuate in ripeness. They may start well, change their mind after experiencing hardship or success, and then eventually return later. Therefore, this filtering process is constant and not just at the beginning of the relationship.